Alright, it is a Friday, 9:28 a.m., October the 15th, and this is the main watch list. PUGE could be a morning panic bounce play. Ideally, that's what I would like. MJWL is actually now shortable on Schwab, so this could be a number 6 pattern, but I'm not necessarily in a hurry trying to short this thing. It is very close to EMA 4, which is what Tim Lentil likes to use, so maybe if it does some crazy move, but it's probably not going to be a shorting day considering the fact that it is Friday. IFXY, oh, and by the way, MJWL could be a morning panic bounce play as well. IFXY, same thing, morning panic bounce play. MWWC, I'm just going to watch it. I'm not necessarily interested in trading it, but ideally I can try to maybe make another green day. And then there could be a candidate for morning panic bounce plays if it can run like at least 3 green days. That'd be cool. This is a sketchy sub penny AHFD. I don't necessarily want to trade it, but it could be a morning panic bounce play. ILUS could be a number 6 pattern. Yeah, it's not going to be a morning panic bounce play, but maybe a number 6 pattern. So that could be a potential short, but I'm not in a hurry to be short on a Friday. IGEX, this could be a morning panic bounce play as well. A lot of potential morning panic bounce play candidates. It hasn't actually been that bad, the morning panic bounce play setups recently, so maybe I'll trade something with a nice size. It's really gonna depend. I might also just play it safe, but I have these things into consideration. Alright, it is 9:48. I did have a trade here with KYNC. Unfortunately, this one was a L, but I did trade not so bad position size, and it was a very tiny percent loss too. Just a very small difference. I didn't try to buy it here. You see, it was a very small price. I was just trying to see if this thing was tradable on Schwab, and it is. So at 9:35, I did try to go for a morning panic bounce play in this candle at 164. I didn't get executed, which is fine. And then it started to make this risk level at 163. I didn't really hold to that risk level. I kind of wanted to trade off a price action because sometimes if it breaks a risk level, it's gonna really break it and it's gonna really look like nasty. Although this would have been not so bad because there was potential support at 161, 160, even 159. But my entry was at 938. That was right here at 165, so the bottom of the green candle, when it looked like it was potentially trying to turn around, and it can still turn around. The volume is fading, but there are 2 things that are not really so good about this trade. Actually 3. One is that there are big bullies on the ask, and that's kind of why I got out of my trade so quickly. Number 2, VWAP, this line is super close to where it's trading, which means that there isn't potentially a lot of range for this setup to be a super profitable mover percent wise. And number 3, it doesn't necessarily have the best daily charts. It would have been nicer if I was trying to trade it on this day, after it just had a crazy run up, or any of the other ones that I'm looking at. So the only reason why I was interested in KYNC is because it had a very clean looking morning panic bounce play at the time. But now it doesn't look so nice. It can still work, but there are some big bullies again on the ask, and VWAP is right there. Let's see if it cracks. It might crack 163 at some point. That's pretty bad. I mean, it still has support here, but it's trying to hold it now. That's interesting. So again, I was in 165, 938, the bottom of the green candle, and what happened was that there was like a big seller that just showed up on the ask, and it was kind of bullying the price. It did get as high as 169, and it was looking very nice. I mean, right after I get in the trade, it's immediately looking like it's going to work. But the issue was that people just started dumping their shares on the bid, and it was starting to look ugly. I did try to sell at that minute at 166 for slight profits, but that wasn't something that I was able to be a part of. I missed out trying to sell at that price. It was just a bit too quick, or I didn't react fast enough. And then I ultimately sold at 940, which was right here at 164. So I bought at 165, sold at 164. It did look like it was trying to break the 163 level, which it has now broken. with that big seller that was just bullying the people on the bid, pushing it down. And no, it held through. It actually tried again at 169, but I think that's the issue here. There's just a lot of people who are selling, or at least people who have a lot of size on the ask, and it's kind of hurting the setup. On top of the fact that VWAP again is really close and it's not the best daily chart. I guess that's why it didn't really work here, and I'm not necessarily interested in it. Maybe if it makes like a lower low setup, but you know, it's not too ideal. I mean, I guess best case scenario, you're in at 16, you're out at 169, so that would be just under 6%, but you know, I think it could have been a lot better too. AHFD, sketchy sub penny stock. I didn't want to trade this thing. It wasn't looking like it was having a clean morning panic bounce play anyway, because it is something I have to trade on E-Trade. IFXY, this one did do it. I just hated how it did it. Like the price action, the volume was just horrible. The way it did it, it's just, I don't mind missing that one at all. PUGE, this one did try to turn around, but I don't like it when it just drops like this gradually, but at least it did try to turn around at some point. 11.5 to 12, so that's like what, 4.5%. That's not too ideal. That looks like hieroglyphics. MWWC is another E-Trade stock. More hesitant on trading it for that reason, and it didn't have a nice morning panic bounce play. ILUS, it's trying to uptrend, but I'm not necessarily interested in it. IGEX, maybe this one. If it breaks out of this, maybe I might consider this for a dip buy. It could try to break this like 133 level and do something nice today. It's still running. Not necessarily the best looking stock. Has some sketchy moves there, but that might be interesting. At this point, I'm going to be looking at stocks that have like a thing looking like this, where it has decent volume and there might be a dip buy opportunity or maybe a breakout. Okay, it is 10:20. I just want to make a really quick update. IFXY, nothing I want to trade here. Don't like the price action, the volume. ILUS is downtrending, however, it's not necessarily something I'm interested in shorting, especially at this level. It would ideally be a lower high from this level right here, give or take. So again, probably not going to trade it. PUGE is nothing I want to trade either. I don't like the price action. AHFD, this is a very hindsight is 2020 setup. It's very unnatural the way it trades. I was looking at this. I don't like the daily chart that much, which made me more hesitant on considering it because of the way it's looking. But it is trying to break the 60 level, which is cool. They could totally do a nice move from here on out forward, but you know, I did like how it had this drop and then it started putting up higher lows. This was the other one right here, and I thought it could try to hold a certain level and then make a nice move towards the upside. Looks like stocks to trade just crashed. Very common. But yeah, and then it just shoots up in the air like that. I mean, maybe somebody is expecting this to trade like that. I'm not expecting the stock to really trade like that, but I guess that's the way this one just seems to trade. It just shoots itself, you know, it just makes a crazy move like that. So I'm not necessarily salty or, you know, upset that I missed a setup like this, because I would have had to have traded this on E-Trade, which is going to mean I have to trade a larger size. So hey, congrats if anybody bought this thing risking VWAP. That probably would have been the ideal move. I just hate trading on E-Trade because I don't like the commission losses there, because sometimes you could even have a nice little profit and then, you know, after commissions you lose. So I am looking at GGII. This is the one I'm most interested in right now because it's like a recent runner and it's trying to have a first green day. I guess it's tried it a few other times before unsuccessfully, like here was one, and it's a sub penny. It's tradable on Schwab. My idea is to maybe consider a potential, maybe if it downtrends, and try a higher low maybe off of this level, and depending on where it does it, I might try to risk VWAP. So that's something I'm going to take into consideration. I'm going to keep looking at AHFD because it is an interesting stock nonetheless. I mean, this thing can try, you know, it can do a nice uptrend. Maybe it will retest this breakout level 60, which is the previous resistance level here, and it tried here too and it failed. Maybe it'll make a nice run, it'll come back to 60, it holds perfectly. I might even consider a setup then and there, but for right now, ideally this thing can just make a nice run towards the upside. Maybe I'll never trade it, maybe it never touches 60 again, maybe it absolutely fails, who knows, but I just definitely want to keep watching this and learning from it, as well as GGII on the other screen. Alright, it is 10:39, and AHFD did get as high as 6.5. It might try to break it later today, but I would have liked it if it went higher, maybe like 6.9 or 70, and then it drops back close to the original breakout level, or maybe the breakout level at 60, so it can be a nice level of support. But we're just not having it. It didn't really move that much, but it can still try to downtrend and put up some kind of a higher low. It hasn't done it yet, so I'll be interested in it. Freaking GGII. I guess I was early. I never saw one of these things, like, I guess while it's still happening super early in the setup. I don't know when the last video was made, but it got to a penny. And I tried to short this thing, even though because it is just a penny stock, and because of that $2.50 margin thing, I could only short, at most 1,000 shares. Even though that was a tiny $10 position, I would have been so happy if I could have shorted at a penny. Because I don't think you can short stocks that are under a penny with Schwab. So right when it went from sub penny to penny, which is like the pinnacle, right, the absolute top for all these people chasing it up, at least right now, I mean, they can continue the uptrend. I wanted to be short there at a penny and risk 103. It didn't do it because they just don't have shares available. That dash just means they don't actually have any shares. It's not that it's not available or it's limited, they just don't have any. And that's probably because this thing was trading for a super long time under a penny, so I guess they got rid of it. Even if I would have had to have lost money, which, I mean, how can you really lose anything when you trade a tiny $10 position? That would have been killer. There were some people here supporting it. Maybe I would have been wrong with my thesis, but I would have liked to have been shorts. Let's see if it breaks 103 and gets to 104. Maybe not right now. So yeah, in theory, that's what I would have been interested in, even if I would have lost there. But I'm still waiting for this thing to put up some kind of a higher low setup. It just continues to run, and I didn't want to chase it. But this is a super nice run up. Maybe this thing can be a potential, runner for the next few days and make some nice morning panic bounce play setups. Alright, it is 11:34 p.m. and I took a L. I had a horrible trade that was completely my fault. I had two trades, and one was here and the other one was here. The first one was something that I was interested in, and it was actually a good setup, but I was just too chicken. I didn't really trade it perfectly. Perhaps I could have, had a risk level that was stronger, or maybe just, thought it through. But I don't really like sub pennies. They're always sketchy, these sub pennies. And my biggest fear with this stock, GGII, is that it just has a nice green day, and then by the end of the day it just falls like maybe 40% off of its highs. If we look back just 100 days, whenever it has like a big green day, it just immediately fails the next day. Of course, this could be different. It does have the volume to support something different, and it can try to run for a few more days, but I just have that in mind that it's not necessarily the best. And we do have this big wick right here, so my short thing in theory would have worked nicely. I don't think I would have covered here. It just barely got the 104 and just failed immediately. Put up by head and shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder. That would have been super cool, even though I would have been in a $10 position, because I can't short anymore. I don't have a large enough account to have done something like that. But yeah, that would have been super nice. It did a dip to 91, and then it did a follow-up dip, and then this is what I was interested in, just like a first dip setup, a potential higher low setup. And I was in and out the same minute, 11:07, and the difference was just $2.50. I basically sold pretty much at the same price level, And the problem was is that it kind of opened here, and I got in at 86, I believe, and then when it just cracked the 85, right, and it just looked like it was gonna break 85, I didn't really like it. I just got too scared out of it, honestly. I was a bit too chicken, and I sold at I think it was 85.5, and that was totally fine. I lost just $2.50. And then this next one was stupid. 11.12. I was kind of annoyed because, you know, I did see this run up, and I, you know, missed it. I didn't want to chase it either, and then I wanted to be short. I think it was short here or here, I forgot. I think it was back here, and I wasn't able to get short. And then I did the setup here, then I chickened out. I got out too early, and I was actually pretty upset, but I tried at 11.12. Now I did do the math. It wasn't the very tippy top. I didn't get 91 perfectly, but I did get 90 and a half right here. And then, you know, I just had this like somewhat risk level of 89, and I didn't really follow that either because, you know, I was kind of annoyed because sometimes I think when it was at 85, like there was nobody at the bid for 85, and I think maybe there was people at 83, which was sketchy. I don't remember anymore. I might have to look back and see how that price action was, but I got scared out of here, so then I tried here. At least I didn't get the very tippy top, right? But I got pretty much, you know, at the top. And then again, I didn't really hold to this risk level at 89, which I probably should have in this case, but it's just a big old mind twist. And then I sold at I did sell the very bottom here at 11.17. Now it did try to turn around at 88, but it didn't get to the same level that I bought until right here, which you can say I guess is a double bottom, right here and right here. But I just played that last trade horribly. I don't mind the first one. You know, with KYNC, GGII, I probably shouldn't have been so scared with the freaking price action. I should have probably have just held on to the risk level a lot stronger. And then this one, I totally deserve it. Now, it's not like, you know, a 40, 50, or $150 loss is just 22 bucks and 50 cents. But I don't like the trade. I don't like the percent loss either. I could have traded that much better, and I'm probably not going to trade GGII anymore just because I feel like I should put myself in timeout, just not do anything stupid. As for AHFD, this one put up a very aggressive, you know, consolidation at its highs, and they got to 69. It never really did like a dip towards VWAP or the 60 breakout level that I wanted. It did do a few dips at 6.1, but that would have been hard because, you know, 6.1 would have been at the bid, and then you know, you're going for 60 anyway. So yeah, very aggressive hold there, but it's pretty nice. This one can continue the run. Kind of looks like a head and shoulders is forming, shoulder, head, and then it might try to go for a shoulder at some point. That's a possibility, but yeah, that's where I'm at as well. As for the other ones, PUGE, nothing. I mean, I guess it can, like, yeah. No, this one's bad. IFXY, nothing. ILUS is just jumping back and forth. I'm not necessarily interested in it. IGEX is putting up higher lows here, but I wanted to really have traded that because that was the first red day. It did break this level, put up higher lows, but I don't mind missing that. That's not necessarily something that I want to do. You know, this could be the shoulder here for AHFD, honestly, if it doesn't try to uptrend anytime soon. MWWC, nothing. And yeah, GGII is at 93. Yeah, I probably shouldn't trade this one anymore unless it does something really nice, and I feel like I'm not trying to revenge trade or something dumb like that. But the last trade, I did that horribly. Again, my buy here and my sell here. At least I didn't, like, you know, sell here and freak out thinking it's gonna break freaking 83. Then I would have been a really bad percent loss. But that's part of trading sub penny stocks. It's very easy to have a crappy percent loss because of the way it trades. Yeah, that's all I have for right now. I should have done that last trade a lot better, but at least I have it recorded. I can remind myself, and I can you know, just learn from that and keep going. All right, it is 9:30 p.m., not a.m. actually. This is not the market open, and this is going to be just the final video here that closes off. I had a very stupid last trade with GGII. It's a former runner, and now it's having its first green day here. Now the issue is that of course this thing might not necessarily run for the next few days. It might just have like a one green day and fade from there, but it can also continue because at least it's trading out with a lot of volume. I always hated this stock. This is a stock that I've learned the whole concept of tsunami morning panic bounce plays that eventually work around that 11:30 a.m. 11:30 as in the best point to try some kind of a reversal setup. No regular morning panic bounce plays because it continues to break the lows. But yeah, I had an absolutely dumb trade, the very last one, and I think it was geez, let me see exactly what time it is. Yeah, 11:17. So that was back here. And yeah, I bought this move right here, right? Or where was it? Yeah, 11:12 right here, almost the very top, and I sold down here. It did hold here, but I'm not gonna pretend and say, oh yeah, of course, hindsight, I would have taken a trade there. Not really. That was a bit sketchy. I was worried that this thing might make a huge wick by the end of the day, but it did continue the uptrend. And I did stop looking at the markets after that last trade because I saw that I wasn't really, doing that good in that last trade, and I didn't want to do anything really dumb. I'm still up on the week. I'm still green, but I'm still trading small sizes. And this one right here, this is a sign I think that I should just continue to stay with smaller sizes. But if it's really nice, like a morning panic bounce play that I'm really good at least I think I have the most experience in, I'll consider trading larger size. I would be interested in trying next week if we have that opportunity, an 11 a.m. reversal, and I might even go large on those type of setups because they seem to work really nice with a I guess a profit taking level at VWAP. So yeah, I feel a lot better. I look forward to retackling next week a lot better. Again, I still finished the week green, and it's not like I did something stupid where I lost 120, 140 bucks, something large, at least to me what I consider to be large. But I definitely played like a total newbie with that last trade, and the first two were not bad at all. I don't know if I would have considered the breakout here. Maybe not. I'm not gonna lie and say, oh, had I been there, I would have considered that breakout setup. And no, I honestly don't know. Maybe, perhaps, because again, my worry was that this thing would have a huge wick. I might not just trade this one because this thing was always tough with morning panic bounce plays. It's just like IOUS. I don't necessarily like it that much, but hey, it did a nice run there, especially all of this right here. I'm really happy to have seen the front side of that move very early on and learned from that price action. IGEX is nothing really here. Maybe the back is being formed. Almost looks like a head and shoulders might be able to be formed, but who knows. This one will be a nice morning panic bounce play setup. AHFD, this one had like a sell-off at the end of the day. Besides the breakout at 60, which was multi-day resistance, where it tried here and failed, this was a quick accelerated move. I really like how this thing had like a big dip, and then it started having like higher lows off of VWAP, and then a nice risk level here. That was really nice. And IFXY, nothing here. Morning panic bounce play potential. ILUS is trying to hold itself together, which is cool. I don't mind that. MWWC, I might remove this one. I would have liked it if it maybe continued more consistently, but it can try to do something on Monday perhaps. It'll be in the other watch list. PUGE, morning panic bounce play potential, and it is trying to hold that level I've been thinking about, but not necessarily the way I like. And yeah, that's about it. I did try here with GGII, and I should have probably have just had not have been so scared trading this stock. And why are there two of these? That's funny. Anyway, that's all I got. I didn't really lose that much, but I think I could have traded the last one a lot better. It's a good lesson. It's a good reminder that no matter how much experience you can get, you can always do something really dumb. I'm still up on the week, up on the month, up on the year, and I'm almost making back all of my losses, even from when I first started trading briefly in 2015, 2016, and then I didn't, come back until 2020. I just have to keep going at it, and yeah, great lesson. I'm happy to have been owned there, and not try to blame the stock or anything like that. That was totally my fault. That's all I got.